What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full Pokemon Trainer Lillie team. Now this Lillie team was really difficult to use, partly because she only had a couple of Pokemon to actually use. So she had the Clefairy from Ultra Sun and Moon, the Alolan Vulpix from the anime, and the Comfey and Riverberry from the Battle Tree, and obviously I put Nebby in there instead of Solgaleo. Now people, those shirts and hoodies have dropped. If you do want to get one, please, I'd very much appreciate it. A very nice Christmas gift there. If you want to get that, the link is in the description of the video. Alright, so let's get this. Obviously, I'm using the amazing Lillie team, and I've only got 5 Pokemon, which made things really difficult. If you do want to battle me, that's in the description of the video too. Let's get on to this one. Now, if you do want to use this team, I will leave the QR code at the description too. And any artwork you guys would like to submit to me, that's at the end of the video too, any aspiring artists. So now we have a Pikachu lead using Volt Switch against my Alola Vulpix, doing a lot of damage too. Unfortunately, Blizzard misses. Now, I didn't really want to run Hail on this team because it actually didn't help my team out like one little bit. So I decided to not use it at all. So now Regirock is going to get hit by Blizzard. I was low-key hoping for a Freeze Axe, but it didn't happen. It's going to be a special set and take me out with a Charge Beam. Oh, things are looking not very good at all. So I've already lost 1 Pokemon. I've only got 4 to go. So now swapping in my Ribbonby here. So this was a special attacking set. We've got max special attack and max speed. We've got Silver Wind, Draining Kiss, and Psychic. Also got U-Turn on this too. Now I've got Assault Vest as the item to make me a little bit more bulky. Right, so there wasn't much I could really do apart from going for the Draining Kiss. I mean, Regirock was like really strong against this team. Then again, like most Pokemon were really strong against this team. Now that Vulpix was a max speed, max special attack set. On that one, I had Blizzard, Moonblast, Freeze Dry, and Extra Sensory with Snowclick, and had the Psychium Z as the item because my team is really weak against poison types. So now I've got to take out this Regirock. It's really getting me down, people. So I've got the physical Comfey, and this set is wild. So we've got Trick Room, Play Rough, my favorite healing move, and Fling. So we've got Brave Nature. So setting up the Trick Room, obviously we want as little IVs and speed as possible. So we want 0 IVs if you can. Play Rough and Fling. So I've got Iron Ball as the item because even with 0 IVs, this thing still gets outsped in Trick Room. It's got that and like an annoying speed sap. Anyway, so the Regirock's going to go for a Charge Beam here, trying to bolster its special attack even more. Quite like this special Regirock, that's nice. Going for the Play Rough here against a Regirock. Now, Regirock's defenses are absolutely insane, even with max attack. I mean, then again, Comfey's attack isn't anything to write home about, but it was tanking my hits all day. There was nothing I could do. Anyway, so it's going to get another boost from, I think that's what the 3rd boost Charge Beam's got. The Play Rough misses, and the Regirock's going to go for a Focus Miss this time. I was like, what? And it's going to be that big base power on the move. I'm just going to live on 3 health, and I'm going to be able to get off the Play Rough against the Comfey there. And I was pretty comfortable with that matchup. So Regirock is down, but there's still like 5 other Pokemon for me to deal with, and I've already lost like most of my team. So now with the Articuno coming in with the pressure, I am feeling a little bit pressured at the moment. It's going to be a physical set taking me out with the Eye Shot, or at least it has a physical priority, which is that. So Comfey is down. So all I've got left is 2 Pokemon. I've got a Clefairy and a Nebby. Like, we're in dire straits, people. So swapping in my Clefairy, the MVP of most of my battles. So now, oh wait, my sound kind of turned up on my DSM. It's going to have Steel Wing, what? And it's going to get a defense boost right off the bat. They're going for the Cosmic Power. This set was as follows. So it's very similar to the Clefairy sweep I did about 4 or 5 years ago. If you haven't checked that one out, you should after. It's very, very similar to this one. So I've got Softball, Cosmic Power, Belly Drum, and Facade. So I've got max health and split defenses. So I just gave it like, I think I gave it Impish Nature and just split the defense EVs up. So the idea is to give it as many Cosmic Powers as possible, then go for the Belly Drum. Instead of giving it Everlight though, I gave it Toxic Orb and Magic Guard as the ability. So obviously I wouldn't get status by anything else. And, you know, I've got Facade to get boosted as well with the Toxic Orb. Now, the problem with this is when Clefairy changed from a normal type to a fairy type, it doesn't hit as hard, but it's still fairly good and still fairly fun to use. So going for this softball against this Articuno, I'm desperately trying to get these cosmic powers up. This thing had Steel Wing. It was like it was like doing a fair lot of damage to me at the start. And also, you really had to worry about critical hits. So like a lot of the times with this Clefairy, like I got critted so much. Anyway, speaking of crits, the Articuno is going to go for a Sky Attack Power Herb, which has a good chance of a critical hit. Thank goodness I do not get critted, and I'm able to get another Cosmic Power up. So I think that's about the 4th Cosmic Power I got up. Really, to get that Belly Drum up, you need at least 4 up. Because you got to tank the first hit, right? You got to get the Belly Drum up, then you got to tank another hit, then you got to heal afterwards. So it's a lot of, you know, you got to withstand a lot of damage and then heal yourself up. Anyway, so going for the softball again, eating an egg and getting most of my health back. So I'm in a pretty good range at the moment. I can go for yet another softball, or I could go for another Cosmic Power. That's what I was kind of thinking at this point. So anyway, so the Articuno is going to go for a Steel Wing. I think this is my 5th Cosmic Power on Clefairy. It's sort of like a double-edged sword. You can get all of the Cosmic Powers up, then like a Mon could come in and just go Shrek you with like a critical hit. Anyway, so the Articuno is going to go for a Steel Wing. I went for another Cosmic Power, so I think I'm almost at max now, or very, very close. Like plus 5 or 6 into my defense and special defense, so I'm very bulky. So now I went for the softball. Steel Wing is like, Steel Wing's accuracy isn't that good, but this Articuno seemed to land most of it against me, which sucked. Gonna get the softball up, and now is time to go for the Belly Drum. Now, what Belly Drum is going to do is give me a +6 in attack. Then I can go for the Facade. Even with like +6 in attack, it doesn't really hit like super duper hard. Now, that was really important. The Articuno actually missed a Steel Wing, so I wasn't going to take as much damage there, and I'm able to get off the Belly Drum. Now I can go for the softball again, and then start like spamming Facade and trying to get back into this game. So Steel Wing doesn't crit me, thank goodness. I think I did the calc, so I almost got one-shotted by a crit Steel Wing from the Articuno at full health. Anyway, so got most of my health back now. I can opt to go for the Facade and try and take this thing out. So Articuno is going to go for another Steel Wing. There's probably no point in swapping after I got like 3 or 4 Cosmic Powers up. Going for the Facade does over half health to the Articuno. So I can go from another Facade and take out the Articuno. So Articuno is probably below half health now. I was a little bit worried about that, especially with critical hits and stuff. So I went for the healing move and healed myself up. Now I can start attacking. Now, obviously, there's many flaws with this. You can get taunted, you can get critted, you can get tricked an item, and then like tricked a choice item. That's always getting salty. Like, if you tricked like a choice item, then you went for like softboard or Cosmic Power, then you would have had to swap out after all those boosts. It'd be infuriating. Anyway, so the Articuno is down. Now we have the big bad bustling Regigigas coming in. Now this thing commonly has like a confused rate to try and stall out its slow start. Then it starts hitting like a truck with like when that's gone after 5 turns. However, this one has Dizzy Punch. Now I quite like running Dizzy Punch on my Regigigas too. Not only is it an attacking move, it has a chance to actually confuse you as well, which is really nice. So now the second Dizzy Punch, hoping for no confusion, and thank goodness I crossed my little pink fingers and it didn't happen. Going for Zard and taking out the Regigigas. So suddenly the tide of the battle has changed with the Clefairy. So now we have 3 other Pokemon remaining. We've got the Pikachu. Now we've got the Bizzle. Now, I was actually a little bit worried about the Bizzle because I thought, well, it might have switcheroo, and if it gives me like a choice item, I'm in trouble. So I decided to go for the Facade there. If all else failed, I could just at least take another couple of Pokemon out. However, I went for the Meowth Facade and it does like nothing to me, and I'm going to be able to take that out, which is good. So there's 2 more Pokemon left. So now we got the Pikachu. Now, already seen at the start, this Pikachu must be max special attack. Judging on the damage, the Volt Switch damage it did to my Vulpix. Anyway, so it's going to hit me with a Thunder, which does a lot of damage considering I've got like plus 5 or 6 in special defense. Eating an egg and getting all my health back. Now I can go for Facade. I know that I'm going to be able to take this thing out in one shot, and I know that Pikachu most definitely has Light Ball as its item. So now it's going to hit me with another Thunder. The good thing about the Toxic Orb too, you can't get paralyzed, frozen, anything like that. It's almost made for me, people. Anyway, so going for the Facade and taking out the Pikachu. There's 1 more left, and as you know, as you can probably guess, it's the Regice. So they had all the Regigas on one team. I love the Regis. They're some of my favorite legendaries. Anyway, so Regice is going to go for the Hail. I'm like, oh, damn. Are they going to go for Aurora Veil Regice? I've used one myself. It's wild. It does like no damage at all. However, I do have the +6 up, and I'm going to be able to hit it like for a shot before it gets it up. So it does about 3/4 damage. The Red Ice has a leftovers too, and I was wondering, does this thing have like rest or anything? I'm not sure. Anyway, it's going to go for the Aurora Veil like I thought, and that's going to bolster its defenses like even further, making it like an absolute beast. However, since I did so much damage to it at the start, that was probably just enough to take it out. And the Red Ice is down. I clutched with the Clefairy at the end there. Hope you guys enjoyed this battle. Let's get on to the second one. Man, when Clefairy is like MVP of your team, you know you got problems. So we have a Beedrill lead, which another big problem, like a poison type, and is like very, very good against all my team. Man, I need a drink of water. Alright, so we've got the Beedrill lead. Now, I'm going to go for the Extra Sentry because that is super effective. Kind of thought about going for the Z move, but I thought it probably has something like a Focus Sash because it's a lead. Anyway, so it's going to set up a layer of Toxic Spikes. It's a little bit annoying, but my Clefairy obviously is not going to be affected by that, so it's not too bad. However, they're going to swap out their Beedrill into the Absol, obviously predicting my Extra Sensory. I was actually very close to going for the Moonblast there, predicting that, but I thought, nah, I better play it safe and go for that. So I'm going to outspeed it anyway. Going to get the Moonblast off now. Alola Vulpix obviously doesn't hit like really, really hard. It doesn't have the greatest special attack. And I'm going to get paralyzed by the Thunder Wave on the Absol. So that's a little bit of a pain, so I've lost my speed. And the Absol is also going to have like leftovers too, so some like crazy bulky Absol set. So I thought, well, let's go for another Moonblast, see if I can get some damage off on it. And it's going to be a Calm Mindset. So I've got to swap out here. Now, what I was thinking here is like, well, I can bring the physical Comfy in, get that Trick Room up, go for the Play Rough against it, and try and take this thing up. So going for a Blizzard here, hoping I get a Scummy Freeze Axe. That does not happen. So now Absol's going to be able to get more and more Calm Minds up, and the point is I really got to take this thing out before it snowballs into a really powerful Pokemon. So now we've got Comfy here. I'm pretty comfortable with this matchup. I'm going to get the one layer of Toxic Spikes damage, but I'm not too worried about that. I'm more of a sweeping Comfy anyway. Physical sweeping Comfy, people. You got to try it out. Anyway, so the Absol cannot hit me with like Dark Pulse or something like that because it's going to not be very effective, which is nice. So that's a pretty good chance for me. So now I'm going to set up Trick Room this turn because I'm going to want to be able to outspeed this, and it's going to help some of my other Pokemon too, like my Vulpix too, because that's paralyzed. So now setting up the Trick Room, it hits me with the Hex. That does a lot of damage because I'm poisoned already, and it's got like 3 Calm Mind boosts up already, and I'm only running max health too, so Comfy's going to take a lot more damage than it normally would, say if I was running like max health, max special defense or something. Right, so now I can go for the Play Rough. It doesn't miss, and that's going to get taken out for the Absol's going to get taken out, which is pretty rough. So that I wonder if that was actually, guys, someone do the damage calcs for that. Was it a clean kill at full health? Say that's a normal Absol. Like do a max health Absol. Someone do the calcs for that. Anyway, so we've got the Ditto coming. It's going to copy my wonderful Comfy set. Now, since I'm holding an Iron Ball in the set, I've got, let me run over what this set was, if I didn't already. Trick Room, Play Rough, my favorite healing move, Fling, and Iron Ball. I think I already ran over what this set was. So since I had Iron Ball under the Trick Room, I knew that I could always outspeed the opposing Ditto. The opposing Ditto probably had something like Choice Scarf, Focus Sash, so they probably weren't too inclined to like fling their item away. Plus, it wouldn't do a lot of damage to me because I resist Dark type moves. So now I thought it was pointless just to keep healing, so I decided to go for Play Rough, get some damage on the opposing Ditto, and feint to the Ditto's Play Rough. I was kind of hoping that would actually miss. Anyway, so swapping on my Vulpix, since the Trick Room's up, this is actually going to help me out. So I went for the Z move, the Extra Sensory Z. Psyche MZ, it doesn't really hit hard, and Comfy's very bulky too. Scissor copied the stats of my Comfy earlier. It's going to be able to tank this, but I thought I might as well get my Z move off, do as much damage as I possibly can before my Alolan Vulpix goes down. I actually really like the animation for this. It almost reminds me of that old Pong game, like playing ping pong. Anyway, so the Ditto's going to take some nice damage. It's going to set up the Trick Room there, or getting rid of the Trick Room, so taking the Twisted Dimensions back to normal, because that was actually really benefiting my team. So now it's going to go for Play Rough. It misses. I'm able to get a Blizzard off against that, and a Blizzard is going to be just enough to take out the Ditto. So a nice result there, taking out the Ditto. I don't think the Play Rough would have taken me out, but we've done some pretty good damage, I'd say round half. So now we have the Beedrill coming in. Since the Trick Room is now gone, it's going to be able to go for a Brick Break and take out my Vulpix in one shot. Damn. So Vulpix did a pretty good job, but once again, things are starting to look very, very desperate. So now, swapping in my Ribbon Bee, I can go for Psychic to take this thing out. That's the only move I can really hit it with. I kind of had to have Psychic and Extra Sensory on my... so I had Psychic on this Extra Sensory on my Vulpix. I really needed them for like poison types because they were like so strong against my team. So the Beedrill is down, which is nice. I definitely would have gone down to that one too, or it may have set up like another layer of toxic spikes. So now we have a Selga coming in. I was thinking maybe it's going to go for Final Gambit or something. This is risky. So I decided to stand and go for... I had on this one, we had Silver Wind, Draining Kiss, not Nature Power. I had U-Turn and Psychic. I actually ran between Nature Power and U-Turn, depending on like what my item was. So obviously with the Assault Vest one and the U-Turn, that was the Assault Vest. And with the Nature Power, I ran like Life Orb, or you can run like Expert Belt on it too. You also could run the, with the Alolan Vulpix, you could run that in the Hail too, and use the Nature Power for that. Anyway, so it's got to go for the me first, because we all know our Selga needs more speed. Now, I'm getting some nice damage with the Draining Kiss, and it's going to go for the U-Turn. It's not going to do too much damage to me, obviously, because I resist that, and the Selga doesn't really have like a lot of attack anyway. So now, the big problem comes in, which is the Sand Slash. Now, Sand Slash, its typing is really, really strong against my team. I think it's super effective against every one of my Pokemon. So this is a big, big problem. And obviously, my moves weren't really doing too much. Plus, that leftovers too, so it was healing off, the minimal damage I was actually doing to it. So I was thinking here, what's my play here? I've got to keep going for Draining Kiss, or should I go for Psychic to try and drop its special defense? I decided to go for the Draining Kiss to do as much possible damage as possible and try and just keep me staying alive. So a Selga comes in, probably expecting me to swap. I actually almost did swap there. So I do some good damage to that and get some nice health recovery too. So this is really good. However, a Selga is going to go for the Final Gambit. I did have a small feeling it would have that. And since I don't have a lot of health, and the Selga obviously was max health, that does a fairly good chunk of damage to me. So now my Silver Wind's not going to hit. And I'm going to get some damage from that, that fixed damage, one layer of the Toxic Spikes. Now we have the Poochyena coming in. As soon as I seen Poochyena, I thought it's probably going to have like Toxic Orb. It's going to go for Protect. So I almost swapped out there. I thought, nah, just in case it's not, I'm going to go for Draining Kiss. So it's going to block that, and it's going to have the Toxic Orb, which is going to boost its speed, obviously with the Quick Feet ability. Now, I've got Nebby in the back, so I thought Nebby would be quite a good swap in for this to get some extra damage on him. So let me go over what my amazing Cosmog set was. So this Cosmog set was we've got max health and max defense, Impish Nature. The only moves it can learn are Splash and Teleport, right? It's almost impossible to use. It's got a nice ability to it. It's got Unaware, which is cool. I gave it Rocky Helmet to get some extra damage against like physical attackers. Now there was an amazing part with Cosmog later on in the bonus battle. You guys have got to check that one out. It's very, very funny. It did like a true MVP play at the end. Anyway, so the Poochyena is going to take it out with the Crunch. I got a couple of rounds of Rocky Helmet on, and I got the Toxic Orb started to rack up really nicely there. So Nebby did its job, and it came out the bag and performed. So now we've got the Ribbon Bee coming in. I can take this out with the Draining Kiss. I'm on a low amount of health. I thought I might as well go for that, or I could go for Silver Wind. I was more thinking about that Sand Slash. I really, really needed a boost. Unfortunately, I did not get one, and we have the Ribbon Bee surviving on 16 health. Now we have the Sand Slash coming in, the very last Pokemon. There was nothing I could do to this thing, right? All I had left in the back was the Clefairy with Cosmic Power. Like, Facade wasn't going to do a lot to it. I really needed that Belly Drum up to do even more damage. Plus, it had leftovers, which was really, really annoying too. So now the Sand Slash is going to go for the Iron Head, the Fated Iron Head, and that's going to take out my Ribbon Bee. Rip. So I really needed a Cosmic Power up on my Clefairy to actually even like survive these hits and dish out some damage with Belly Drum. So that was to be determined whether I could actually survive any of the hits. So swapping in the Clefairy, if I was running max health and max defense, I knew I had a good chance. But with the split defenses, I knew this would be doing a lot more damage than usual. So it does 3/4 damage to my Clefairy. I'm able to get one Cosmic Power up. That was all I could get. I had to desperately heal this turn and then like maybe try and stall out the Iron Head. I'm not sure. And there was a chance that it could have Sword Dance too. So there was a lot of there was a lot of unknowns there. Not the Pokemon unknown either. So now it's going to go for the Iron Head. Unfortunately, I could not tank that one, and that is game. I hope you guys enjoyed both these battles. It was so much fun using this team. And check out those t-shirts and hoodies, people. Peace out. do, do, do.